Having someone kidnap your child from you is one of the worst things that could ever happen to a parent. Besides death, having a stranger take your child for their own sick and twisted reasons is one of the most heart-wrenching things in this world. One North Carolina family struggled to deal with the disappearance of their 16-year-old teenager. Before we begin, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell for more amazing videos. In May 2016, 16-year-old Hailey went missing from her home near Charlotte in North Carolina. On the night she disappeared, Hailey's parents said they woke up to find the door unlocked, and they believe Hailey had walked out and been picked up in a car by her home. They believe that Hailey left their home between 12 p.m. and 6 a.m. Anthony and Shauna Burns were distraught beyond words that their daughter disappeared, but in the weeks before, they noticed she was acting strangely. Hailey has Asperger's, which is a developmental disorder categorized by difficulties in social interaction and nonverbal communication. It often causes people to have delayed motor development, which leads to clumsiness and uncoordinated motor movements. Her parents noticed that Hailey was using a pacifier and wearing her hair in pigtails, and they raised their concerns to Hailey's psychiatrist. The psychiatrist suggested that Hailey's symptoms were likely due to Hailey trying to soothe herself during stressful situations. But there turned out to be more to her odd behavior. Anthony and Shauna were later told by one of Hailey's classmates that she had met a 30-year-old man and had been speaking with him for months. Anthony recalled, "The student told me that my daughter had been talking to a 30-year-old man for over 6 months who was trying to convince her to talk to him and saying that he would be her friend and she could come to him." After their daughter went missing, the Burns found messages on Hailey's phone asking her to call an unidentified man called Daddy. By now, authorities were involved in searching for Hailey, and the FBI wound up finding Hailey's profile on several social media sites, some of which they said were not mainstream networks like Facebook or Instagram. It seems that Hailey met her abductor on one of those sites, although they had no idea who this man was. The fact that Hailey left with an older man was particularly disconcerting to Shauna, who said, "The idea that no matter what we did on our end to protect ourselves, she still had access to this guy from her school. What if someone at her school had been that person?" According to the FBI, Hailey only packed a few items and didn't bring all of her medications with her when she left. Despite hundreds of attempts to find Hailey, authorities and the Burns were unable to find the 16-year-old teen. Time went by and the family learned to cope the best they could by remembering the good times and special moments they shared with their daughter. Anthony Burns took to writing poetry as a means to express his thoughts. "I miss you, Hailey," her father tearfully wrote. "I hope if you read this, you will understand that all of this is done for you and to help others avoid the loss that our family feels now that you are gone." 1 year passed and the Burns hadn't found Hailey. Instead, they posted an announcement on Facebook, letting their friends and family know that they will be hosting an event on the anniversary of their daughter's abduction. "We will be letting 100 balloons off in her honor with media and radio in attendance." The family hoped that Hailey would see that they were still looking for her and that she would return home. Anthony also hoped other parents would take Hailey's disappearance as a warning. The FBI even announced a $15,000 reward for tips and other helpful information regarding Hailey's disappearance. While the search for Hailey involved billboards, public appeals, police investigations, and the FBI, it's believed a Facebook tip led to Hailey's discovery. This was 1 year after her disappearance, and the tip came from a woman from Romania. It's believed that Hailey met a Romanian woman online, and the two started to chat when Hailey told the woman she was missing. After researching the case, the woman contacted Hailey's parents. "I got a message that said, 'I've been in communication with your daughter, and she's alive and she wants to come home,' and from there it has been like an avalanche," said Shauna. However, the problem was, Hailey didn't know where she was when asked. So, she took a photograph from the house she was staying in. Former FBI Assistant Director Chris Swecker said, "The victim took a picture outside, and all they had to go on was the neighborhood and what it looked like from inside the house." Within hours of the initial contact with Hailey's parents, FBI agents and police raided a home in Duluth, Georgia. The home belonged to a man named Michael Wesolowski, and according to the Gwinnett County Property Assessor's website, Wesolowski bought the home on April 14, 2016. When authorities walked inside the well-kept two-story house, they found Hailey emaciated, having been starved by her captor. Hailey, then 17, was confined in an upstairs bedroom, and Wesolowski told her she'd be arrested if she left. She was exhausted when she was finally discovered, and when neighbors heard the news they were shocked. Most of them said they'd never met Wesolowski, and others thought they were just a quiet couple who kept to themselves. There were reports of seeing Hailey bringing groceries into the house, but what was happening inside was far from normal. Warrants alleged Wesolowski kept a food journal detailing how many calories Hailey had eaten each day, and if she ate more than he thought she should, she wouldn't be fed the next day. On some occasions, she was told to perform oral sex in exchange for food. Amidst all that Hailey went through, there was nothing like being reunited with her family, although they believe she is not the same person that left, and that's the hardest part of all for them. The Byrnes are praising Hailey's return as a miracle, but they say their daughter has been changed by the experience and they are asking to have their privacy respected. As far as Wesolowski's charges, Michael Ren Wesolowski, 31, was charged with aggravated sodomy, cruelty to children, deprivation in the first degree, interference with custody and false imprisonment. Anthony Byrnes said he one day hopes to publish his book of poetry titled 5/23/16, which is the day Hailey disappeared. He said he would like all of the proceeds to go to organizations that help families with missing children. As far as how Hailey is doing, according to the family, Hailey was kept in the hospital briefly before returning home. They are all working with her to help her get through this tough time and bounce back from the abuse she endured. Thanks for watching until the end. Check the videos on your screen and subscribe for more amazing stories.